Welcome back for a new episode of Andrea's interviews. Today with us there is David again to share his reflections on spirituality. So we start. What is a simple
Mhm.
practice that you would recommend to someone that is new to spirituality?
A practice. Um, it's so tough because I'm trying to think about where I start and what I start with. But I would probably personally say yoga for me. Yoga was the thing that I started it to help with back problems with my back, and what I found was at the end of the mat, at the end of the yoga session on the mat, that silence I used to feel, that's what really got me. That's what hooked me. The silence at the end of the class when you're lying there and you're just feeling like connected to your body, things like you can feel everything, and you have this real feeling of peace.
Yeah.
And so for me, yoga was something that it started as a physical practice, and then I was really really intrigued about that feeling at the end of the class. That's what really made me think more on a spiritual level, that there was more than just this body, you know. Yeah, so I would recommend going to a yoga class, or going to a meditation, like a little Buddhist meditation class or something. But I think probably find a teacher that resonates with you. If you go to a yoga class, you don't like it, find a different yoga teacher, find a different style of yoga, because there's many different styles. Lots of people will say to me, "Oh, I'm not very good at yoga. I have too much energy." It's like, okay, so find a Ashtanga or Vinyasa, find a faster, stronger yoga practice, because it's like there's yoga for everybody, different types, different styles. So yeah,
I
I
didn't
would
know that.
yeah, I would find some guidance from somebody and get into it that way. But don't rely on YouTube.
Yeah.
Go and sit with the teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think your soul is trying to learn in this lifetime?
Oh, we just had a big conversation before this, didn't we? Was my soul trying to learn? My soul, I think, is trying to guide me to my purpose. I really believe that. I'm such a creative person. I have um, so many skills, so many interests, that it's kind of like a blessing and a curse, because there's so many things I'm passionately into, but not one thing I'm passionately into. So it's trying to. So I think my soul purpose is like it's guiding me into doing one thing, and it's pushing me to open doors, but there's one thing that I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be yet, and we were just talking about this a minute ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I'm being guided, and I have to listen. Yeah.
Now that you mention purpose, do you think that purpose is an innate trait that has to be discovered or we create it, or a mix of both?
Created, or what? Sorry,
Or
or
discovered, that is already part of
discovered.
ourselves and this.
I think we already have it in us. Our purpose is already inside of us. Um, it's already there, but I think like there's so many layers of ignorance that built up over many many years of our life, right? Of how we're socialized, and I think it's already there. It's screaming at you, and that's why so many of us are struggling with peace and with happiness and with our jobs, because we're doing stuff that we shouldn't be doing, that's not making us happy. It's not fulfilling our purpose, right? And you don't have to have a grand purpose. Some people's purpose is having a family. Some people's purpose is just being kind and charitable, and some people's purpose is to make lots of money, and and have lots of employees, and that's their purpose or whatever. But everyone has a purpose, and it's already inside of us. But it's finding it is I think torture for a lot of people. It's hard to find it, you know. I always think, you know, look back to when you were a child. What were you really into? What did you love? I don't mean dinosaurs or fucking playing with Legos, but what was the thing that really gave you so much satisfaction that you did all the time? For me, it was art. I was always drawing. I was never a good student. I was very difficult to engage. I was always at the back of the class, couldn't learn. I found it very, very difficult, but I was always drawing and paint, and not painting so much, but art and things like that. And I look back to this day and it's like, that's what I should have pursued. Because even today I still love that, right? Because I'm still very creative. But maybe I find that in something else. Maybe I find that in cooking, which is very creative as well, right? But I know that if you're a creative person, you should be doing something creative.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So not everyone has to be a leader, you know. But I do believe that our purpose, it's in us already. The creation part of it is where basically you find what your purpose is and you do something with it, you know. That's the creation part, right?
Yeah. I
And
completely,
you're only going to get that. Yeah.
I completely share
That's,
and agree with. I think I like for both. Like it's something innate, and then once you find your purpose, you create or yeah, create it.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, we're born with these gifts, right? You know, I mean, I'm a school teacher, right? And we tell children they're unique and gifted and in their own ways, and but then we don't really do too much to actually foster that in children. You know, I think parents particularly they don't, you know, or some parents. But I just think, you know, like we have our gifts. Some people are healers, right? I mean, the argument is that we're actually all healers. Um, but yeah, we all have something very special to offer,
yeah.
but we've got to find what it is. That's the difficult bit.
What does surrender mean to you? Surrender to life.
Surrender has to be letting go, I guess. But in a context where, you know, you'll get to some point where you have to just give in. Um, for me personally, my intuition has been screaming at me for many years, right? Um, and yeah, I haven't been. I don't follow my intuition enough, right? I don't listen enough. I listen, but turning what I'm feeling into action is very, you know, and actually doing something with it. That's the scary bit, right? You know, to say, okay, give up your job, this the so-called security of a salary, and pursue something that you really love doing for less money or for no money, just for the joy of it. Um, but you know, and then you think, oh, I can't possibly do that. But I think just eventually you have to kind of give in and just surrender to it and just take a leap of faith,
Yeah.
right? Um, faith, I guess, is like surrender, right? You have to kind of just give in to um, the guidance that's there, um, and you just have to kind of just go with it. You know, I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen, right? You know, you can always go back to a job. I mean, there's this fear of like closing doors, thinking that the doors aren't locked when you close them. You know, you can open that door again. You can open another door again. I mean, I'm 49 and I came back overseas to teach again. I thought I'd close that door, and it presented itself again, and I was ready to. I wasn't ready to stop traveling and things, so I've come back to teaching overseas. That's all part of my journey, right? I'm just kind of going with it. I'm just saying yes, and it's brought me here, and now there's got I'm at another crossroads that I have to make decisions about. But I'm feeling a bit more like I'm ready to listen now. Yeah, yeah. I've got to stop being so stubborn.
How do you cleanse or reset your energy?
Cleanse or reset. I would say when I reset, it's being it's doing stuff that I like to do, right? So like for me to reset, I do like my own space, but I mean I don't mean just sitting down watching Netflix. That's I don't think that's a reset. That's you're still doing something, unconscious by just sitting there watching the screen, which I love doing. I love watching movies and Netflix and all that. But for me to reset, it's maybe meditation, do some breath work. It's going to a yoga class, but it's doing something where um, the end result is peace, is a feeling of calmness, And I wish I could bottle that and sell it. But yeah, if I do some breath work, how you feel at the end of it, meditation, how I feel the yoga, how I feel at the end of it. If I walk in the forest, how I feel at the end of it. It's that feeling. It's always the feeling, the same feeling of being peaceful, being quiet, being still. Right? It's always the same product at the end of it.
Yeah.
So whatever you do at the end of it, if you feel satisfaction, you feel peace, then I feel that's I've been reset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you were to compare your life to a book, your life is a book. What chapter are you at now? What chapter how would you call the chapter now?
Oh, I still feel very much a lot younger than what I am, and I still feel like I'm only halfway through the book. I'm probably not, right.
No, you are.
In
Why not?
reality, I'm probably
Why not? It's like 200.
depends how. Yeah, let's see, right? I mean, yeah, but I mean, I definitely feel like I'm approaching a point where I'm gonna realize what my purpose is. Still, I don't feel feel like I've got there yet. I feel like I'm supposed to be in a teaching format, but not as a school teacher. I feel, I feel like I'm about to turn a corner, right? Um, and start to pursue things that I've always wanted to pursue, and that's where my purpose lies. And I'm just going to go with it. I'm just going to say yes to every opportunity, and just let the universe guide me, and just follow it and see what happens. That's kind of where I feel I am right now. So I would probably say I'd probably say I'm halfway, and the best is yet to come. I believe. That doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to, make millions and live in a yacht in Greece or something, but it means like that I'm going to find my purpose and I'm going to live for my. I'm going to feel fulfilled. And I've had glimpses of that and tastes of that, and now is the time really to just kind of let things go and surrender and just go with it. Yeah, but I really feel like there's something on the horizon for me. Yeah, I'm quite excited about it actually.
I love that. It's absolutely, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It is, and you should be excited.
Uh,
Staying on the themes of books, what book, songs, or poem has influenced you has impacted you in your spiritual journey?
I would say the first book that I was introduced to that was on this self-development spirituality type of theme, I guess. I don't know. It was The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. And I met a girl when I was traveling around Thailand, a Canadian girl, and I went to see her in Canada and stayed with her for a few weeks. And she introduced me to this book by Don Miguel Ruiz. And I read that book. And that was the first book I read that was like, oh my God, this is really interesting, right? This was, when I look back, that was the seed for me. I'd been to some yoga class before then in England when I was doing my teacher training and everything. That was, and I knew that I really loved that feeling, and I knew there was some kind of a a desire in there to explore. But all the conversations that I would have with her, and the things she'd done ayahuasca, and she'd done all these kind of things that I'd never even heard of, right? And it introduced me to that book. Was for me that was the first seed that was planted. I think, yeah. Can't remember all the agreements now. It was don't take anything personally. God, I can't remember all the agreements. It was that long ago. But it's a book that I want to revisit and read again.
I will definitely, I'm interested to read it as well. And I'm
Yeah,
not
it's very
100%
famous. Definitely.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think I've got a copy here somewhere. And if I well remember, I think you brought the copy here when you came.
I think I very well might have done. Yeah, yeah.
Because I'm
I've got
pretty
the
sure
audio book as well, actually.
I've seen it somewhere. No,
Yeah,
but yeah, I'm gonna check it.
yeah. I highly recommend it though. There's actually another one as well, the Fifth Agreement, which his son wrote as well. But the four agreements, I highly recommend it. It's Toltec wisdom. I need to revisit it though. You know, you read a book, it plants a seed, but yeah, I think you need to come back to these texts. You know, you can't just read one, put it down. I think revisit them again.
Yeah.
If it resonated with you, then come back to it. It's like having a really good teacher and learning from them, and then never revisiting their teaching again, right? You know, revisit them, keep going back to your teachings.
One thing that I've been doing for a while now, I even take notes or I like the part that that resonate with me, and I just skip all the other pages and just read them every now and then, just to refresh
Yeah,
the notions. Yeah,
yeah, nice. Yeah, yeah. It's nice to have a highlighter pen, and just like some people learn different ways, right? And some people have got to do something with it, with the knowledge. They have to like write it down or take notes, or I always think when you're reading something, my memory is terrible. I read a page and I've got to go back to the page 3 times. you know,
yeah,
so I think by doing something with the text, or sharing it, or reading it, and then also listening to it as an audiobook as well, just find different ways for it to go in, because I'm not really a natural learner. It's reading doesn't come easy for me, so I have to kind of do things with the text for
yeah.
it to kind of go in. Yeah.
No, I'm definitely gonna check that book out.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
how has your relationship with your body changed since you start your spiritual journey? I guess especially with yoga for you.
Yeah. I've come to accept the issues that you get, with aging, I guess. I started having some back issues many years ago, and that's kind of manifested to the point where I herniated a disc. And the doctor said it actually been happening for a long time. So basically every day I get up, I'm in pain. Like, I have to get up very carefully. My back's always sore. I have fibromyalgia, which means sometimes I can struggle with like inflammation and soreness generally. So there's things that you have to just accept, right? Because there are also these things are also a blessing as well. Because if I didn't have this inflammation, this soreness, then I wouldn't be so conscious of the changes that happen when I eat certain foods, right? Or the things that go on when I'm subjecting myself voluntarily, I think, as well, to a lot of negative, news and doom scrolling, right? Um, and so there's lots and lots of environmental things that I find affect me, right? They affect my state of mind. And when that happens, it affects my body. So I've really realized that the state of my mind is also has a direct effect on the state of my body and how I feel, right? For example, if I get stressed, I feel tense, or I get angry or something. I feel it in my back. I feel it in my muscles, and so I think the relationship I have with my body now is one of acceptance. And I think I'm doing pretty damn well. I go to the gym a lot. I go to yoga classes every morning. I have a little bit of a stretch, which I kind of feel like I have to do to warm myself up and get myself ready for the day. I'm still teaching little children, and you've got to keep your back healthy, right? So all these things, like they've it's like a challenge, but I also feel like it's a beautiful journey, you know. I always feel very grateful for these injuries and what they're teaching me, and I'm getting stronger all the time. And I'm in the gym all the time, and sometimes I get up and I'll be a bit sore than other days, and I think, okay, what have I done to be a little bit more sore today? What have I been eating? And so the connection with the food and how we feel as well is a big one as well. So yeah, acceptance. We get older. We get, you know, we have have more mobility issues. We have difficulty with weight and information and all kinds of intolerances that you didn't have when you were young.
Yeah.
You know, um, and it just really creates a heightened awareness of how absolutely everything affects us, and therefore the connection that we have with absolutely everything as well, right? You know, um, it's a heightened awareness, I would say, that I have now. Like I know my body um, a lot more now. I still have like colleagues who they get absolutely smashed all weekend, every weekend, you know. And I'm just like, how the hell do you do that? Like, can you feel what that's doing to you? You know, like getting out of bed at like, tea time and doing it again. And I'm like, do you know what that's doing to your body? Like, can you feel it? Like, do you have a relationship with your body and your mind? Because it's all connected, right? And any people that use fitness professionals, they'll all tell you that your body and your mind, and your diet, everything is completely connected. It's all part of the same thing, So you just have to accept that, you know, food is medicine, movement is medicine, right? You have to also listen to your body and know when to relax. And I never beat myself up for having a lazy day, because that's my body telling me I need a lazy day. I rarely sleep in. Don't need to, but if I do, that's my body telling me I need it.
Yeah.
My mind telling me I need to rest. So yeah, this you just gotta. It's listening, isn't it? It's listening. Yeah, you have to listen
100%.
and just be aware of what's telling you. Yeah.
My friend Vicky, she always tells me, yeah, the body, listen to the body ears, and this the same
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we often in danger of repeating the same patterns, right? And we don't even realize we're sabotaging our health. So you have to really, you got to think to yourself, right? Is it serving me? If it's not serving me, don't do it. It's okay to have a few drinks, whatever. But if it gets to the point where you feel like shit all the next day, your relationships are screwed up. You're getting drunk and you're arguing with your best friends, right, or your partner, because you know because the drink has brought lots of insecurities up, or whatever. If it doesn't serve me, don't do it.
Yeah.
If the food that you're eating is making you feel super lethargic, then you're eating the wrong food, right? And you just gotta really be aware of these kind of things and just try to do more of what serves you. And once you learn about what's serving you, and once you learn about things that are bad for you and why they're bad for you, it changes your outlook, and you start thinking, oh shit, I didn't realize actually that was so bad for me. And then you start thinking, right, I need to limit that and change it or replace it with something else, right? Yeah. It's like, why would you stay in an unhealthy relationship with somebody? If you're in a toxic relationship and you know it's bad for you, why would you stay in it? Right. So just think about it. And it's all about raising our consciousness, right? We need to be more conscious beings. Like, we are the top of the food chain, right? We were blessed to be humans, right? And the reason, one thing that sets us apart from all other beautiful living animals and creatures on the earth, is because we have a higher consciousness, right? And like, but we're not using it. It's almost like we're going full circle. I look at what's going on in the world, and it's like, my God, we're going backwards, you know? And like, we just sat on our mobile phones, and I do it as well. And I'll scroll on the phone, and I'm just like, my God, where's the time gone? What am I doing? Right? Airplane mode, different room, like, you just we need to be more conscious about things. We need to be more conscious about, you know, the messages we're getting in the media, the shit we're putting in our bodies, the shit we're feeding our children, you know, and what we're telling our children, because all of that sticks. Yeah, yeah. Just we need to raise the vibration.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. What
Got a bit
role?
preachy there. Sorry.
No, it's, what role does mystery plays in your life?
Mystery.
Yeah.
Ooh, what roles it plays? It's exciting, isn't it? You know, the mystery of.
Yeah.
The one thing that I do struggle with is that I don't probably have enough years in my life to understand the mysteries of the world, right? You know, like it's so incredibly intricate, right? You know, I mean, how the astrology and how the planets and the stars and the moon and everything kind of affects us, and certain moon cycles affect us, and our behavior. We should be fasting on certain days, and there's just so much to try to understand, and it's mad. It's, you know, I used to go to some Bhagavad Gita classes in Newcastle at the Hindu temple, and I used to go there every Thursday actually, and I used to just think it's baffling, you know, like how like these ancient sages knew so much about our cosmos and our relation with it thousands of years ago, 5,000 years ago nearly, right? And the you know the just it's just the knowledge that they have. And when you meet these yogis that spent the whole year studying this stuff, it's just absolutely mind blowing. And you're just saying, my God, I don't have enough years to understand 1% of this, right?
Do you know what I think though? I think it's a matter of being connected, because nowadays society, like I don't know, the phones scrolling down, that's energy going away. And if we
Yeah,
use our energy to pursue these things, to get to know more of the mysterious stuff, I think you can see and understand and feel and experience things that they're actually natural, but simply because what's happening in the daily life
yeah,
keeps us away from them. I don't know, I just thought about, like, especially old people here in Sardinia, the old ladies and old men, they've got so much, like, stories or experiences, and they know by looking at the sky or by listening to nature what kind of weather it will be over the next few days. And us, we have to have the internet to check weather
yeah,
forecast. And for them,
yeah,
it's just like everything comes natural. And even the connection that they've got, like the knowledge about the stars and the moon cycles and everything,
mm,
it's fascinating. And as you said before, it resonated
yeah,
with me so much when I asked you the question about what mystery means to you, when you say excitement. That's it. I embrace that word completely for that.
mm.
It excites me.
It's just life is supposed to be experienced, right? You know, we're not necessarily supposed to be sat on these on the internet and the phones. We need to struggle a bit, right? We need to get lost. You know, it's okay to not use Google Maps and get lost, because part of the fun is getting lost, right? And finding your way back, right? Or finding your way to where you need to be going to, right? Yeah, it's experiential, right? And like, and when I tell people like, oh yeah, every morning I get up and I just sit with myself for a little bit. You know, sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's 20, 30 minutes. I have a bit of a stretch, sometimes I do a bit more. But every morning I make sure I sit down in front of my little altar for a little bit, right? To start my day. When I tell people about like meditation and things like that, they're like, what? Really? And I just think you're missing out, you know, you have to just experience the stillness. Like, when was the last time you consciously experience some stillness without just sticking a movie on, right, or going to sleep? You know, when have you actually consciously relaxed your body, you know, or consciously just sat there and just, you know, closed your eyes and just listen to your breath? You know what I mean? and it's these things that you tell people and think, oh, it's all very woo woo and all that. But I don't know. I mean, all these people that like think that, I just think, well, how are you handling your life? You know, are you handling it perfectly fine? Are you don't have any struggles with anything? You know, and when you do get those struggles, how are you handling it? Are you just going to get pissed or just crying yourself to sleep every night? You know, these tools are these all these tools, they've been passed down for thousands of years. You know, Buddhism, you know, Hinduism. I mean, it doesn't. You don't have to put a label on a religion, you know. Like, and all the religions, they all teach us so many beautiful things. I mean, yeah, the religions haven't caused lots of problems. People have caused lots of problems. You know,
I
we
completely,
keep blaming on other things and not taking responsibility for
yeah.
for you know what humans are doing, right, and have done. Um, and it's like an we need to evolve, right? But we need to stop. I feel like we've stopped evolving generally, but actually, when you look at the growth in people who are now, you know, pursuing, you know, meditation and breath work and sober communities and all of that, when you actually look at all that, that's growing massively. You know, the amount of people. I mean, you just got to look at, like, you know, vegetarian food, right? When I was young, vegetarian food was an iceberg lettuce and a tomato. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so like we are evolving. Certain elements of our societies are evolving, but we all need to come together and raise the consciousness of everybody else, right?
But I agree with you on that
Yeah.
as well, that there is a lot of like awakening for lots of people, and
Mhm.
discovering, get to know like ourselves, and how we fit in, and how we are part of the big
Yeah.
picture.
I think, you know, like all the lockdown stuff create a lot of um, mental health issues with people, and I think since then people have really kind of woken up to how much they need nature, you know, because they were limited with what they could experience. And I don't think they valued being outdoors in nature so much, a lot of people. And there's a lot of people now, you know, they've got quite disconnected, and they're trying to find the connection, and so they're opening their mind to all kinds of things now, you know, forest bathing, you know, the ice baths thing challenge and all that sort of stuff, right? It's people trying to be more conscious about themselves and experiencing things that they never would have experienced before, you know. So it's really beautiful
Yeah.
what's going on in the world right now. But we're going through a transition, right? It's a
A
painful
beautiful
time
one,
for,
a beautiful one is for the best.
in many ways, you know. I mean, what's going on, you know. I mean, it will go full circle, right? You know, and everything has to end, and something else will be born from it. Um, it's just painful, isn't it? Though that's all, you have to go through the pain, and yeah, there's not really anything you can say that's gonna make it sound nice or anything, is there? You know, all these wars and everything. Um, you just gotta kind of have faith that this is all going to play out, and everything will eventually be okay. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's part of the circle of life, isn't it? You know? Yeah, yeah.
What part of nature feels like mirroring you right now?
What part of nature you feel like mirroring me?
Yeah. What
Hmm.
are you mirroring of nature? Like if you were mirroring yourself with nature, what do you see? How do you see?
You mean the element, like
Yeah,
an
yeah,
element?
anything.
You mean?
What mirrors you right now?
See, initially when you said that, I was thinking wind, right? Kind of being taken away with the wind, but actually, I think it's actually more fire. Actually, Um, my tarot cards read yesterday, and this came up quite a lot as well there, because fire is action, right? So that is where I'm at now, where, you know, I have to take action, right? You know, I can't just sit around thinking, you know, about, you know, this or that. I have to think, right? I need to be responsible for myself, my own happiness, my realizing my purpose. Um, And to do all of that, to find all of that, you have to take action. Okay, I'm not going to find my purpose sitting on the sofa, right?
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not unhappy with my life or anything like that, but I don't feel like I've found my calling, and I think a lot of people can probably resonate with that, right? Uh, but you're not going to find it, you know, hanging out with maybe the wrong people, or like you're a product of your environment. So change your environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we are at the final question. What would you change today if you remember that you were going to die?
What would I change,
Yeah.
or what would I do?
What would you
What would
do?
I change?
Change or
What
do?
would I do? Yeah. If I found out, say, for example, I had 6 months to live, I've thought about this a few times, and I've always said the same thing. So it comes quite easy. Now, a lot of people would say I would go and be with my family, right? Or I would go and travel the world. But for me, I really believe in the power of Eastern medicine, of Ayurveda, um, of living a yogic lifestyle, very super clean. Not just that, but like the breathing, the opening up your energy channels. Because yoga is actually not just moving your body for stretching your body. It's actually designed to open your energy channels. Right. So certain asanas, certain postures you're in are supposed to open certain energy channels in your body. And that's why you do them. It's not just to make yourself have a good stretch. Well, that's one purpose, right? Um, so for me personally, if I had 6 months to live, I would I would go and I would live, and I would connect to my higher self, the divine energy, God, whatever you want to call it, right? And for me, that would be to go and be somewhere where I can't give in and grab a cafe latte and a croissant, you know, go somewhere where I have to get up, I have to do the work, and as painful as that is, I have no choice. I have to, so yeah, I even know which one I'd go to. But yeah, I would go there and I would cleanse. I would completely cleanse. I would fast. For, for me to have the best chance of living longer, I have to completely cleanse. That's how I see it. I really do believe that a lot of our illnesses and things are our environment, our job, our food, everything. And I really do believe in the power of going somewhere and just just cleansing,
Yeah.
just being somewhere where you have no stress to affect your body. The food that you eat is clean and organic. Even the water you drink, and I've been to many of these places that are like this, and they're around the world, and I would do that. I've read stories of people, in the news. I read one ages ago, and it was a guy in London, and he was quite a youngish guy, and he had loads of health issues apparently, and he killed himself. And he was wealthy, successful, everything. I can't remember the exact story of it. And I just thought, if I was in that position, especially considering didn't have the money problems, I would have packed my shit up, put it in storage, whatever, and I would have went somewhere, and I would have given myself the best chance of healing, because your body is your greatest healer, right? You can heal incredible things if you give your body the right environment, and the right foods. I absolutely believe that our body is incredible at being able to heal itself. So I would do that. I would tell my family I love them very much. I might be dying soon, so I'm going to go to the ashram. Maybe I'll see you in 6 months. Hopefully so.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but I'd also, I'd like to think as well that if I did only have 6 months, that when I go, I feel connected to God.
Yeah.
and I would go in peace, not fighting against it on a hospital bed. You know, worrying about my family, crying myself to sleep. The process of dying is not very pretty, right? I would rather at least say, you know what, I'm gonna go somewhere, and when I die, I'm gonna go and feel and just feel peaceful and connected, and just let me go. Yeah.
David, has been a pleasure as always. Thank you for sharing your
Absolutely,
wisdom
man.
and your thoughts, and thank you for
Yeah.
having taught me lots today and gave me lots of
Pleasure, mate.
food for thoughts.
I felt as if I got a bit preachy. I
No,
felt I got a bit preachy sometimes on
it
that
was
one.
it was it
Yeah.
was it was amazing, and I
Yeah.
absolutely enjoyed it. 100% nourishment for the soul.
Thank you so much. The feeling's mutual, Andrea. I love this. This is the second one we've done, and I really look forward to it. It really is just like soul food.
100%,
Just having these
100%. And
conversations.
the other thing
Beautiful.
that I feel all the time when I'm in this conversation, it's present. Like I'm present all the time. And that's such a good thing because I've always like something that I struggle is to like to be in the moment and to be in the present. And with this, it's just I believe I like yeah I believe because is aligned to the way that I am, and that's why I feel like it's so easy just to be there in the moment. And thank you for this.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's fantastic.
Pleasure, mate. Pleasure. God love you, man. And
Love you
till the
too.